Okay, everybody. Hey, this is really wonderful. Welcome to step 2 in dream yoga. This is absolutely amazing. You guys are going to love this. The weirdness of wilds. The weirdness of wake-induced lucid dreaming or dream yoga. This particular technique can get pretty funny. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced a wake-induced lucid dream before, but the experience is like going to an amusement park. So what I want you to do is keep in mind that if you start to experience some of these sensations that I'm going to talk about right now, it is okay, because all that you have to do is just open your eyes and tell yourself that you want to wake up, and you will come out of it. Now, like I said, this is like being at an amusement park, and that is because when we move into the dream world, what happens is that we are consciously moving our body through the process of REM. So let me just explain this just a little bit. When we move into REM, what happens is that we become paralyzed. Now, there are various stages of sleep, and when we are in our waking state, we are in beta, very fast moving, and we are fully awake. And as we begin to go to sleep, we move our consciousness into alpha. And alpha is a very relaxed state where we have a lot of nice images coming, and we're relaxed, our breathing slowed down. Then we move into theta, and theta is where we are on the brink of sleep, but we're having a lot of visuals happening in the back of our mind and in our mind's eye, and we're seeing a lot of things. It's almost that in-between wake and dreaming place. Like when you wake up in the morning and you're almost awake, but yet you're still kind of sleeping and you can hear the dream or see the dream. Well, that's the lower theta, and that's the doorway to the dream world. Well, we pass through REM right after that briefly, and we move into delta where we're in deep, deep sleep. This is where everything is black. It's a rejuvenating stage. Now, when we come back up, we pass through our first REM stage. And our first REM stage happens 70 to 90 minutes after we fall asleep, and it happens every 70 to 90 minutes after that. And it actually gets longer throughout the night. So this is really important to understand that half of your night's sleep is filled with dreams. Now, when we move into REM, it's characterized by rapid eye movement, where your eyes are moving, your sexual organs are active, but the rest of your body is completely paralyzed. So this happens by the brainstem suppressing. The brainstem suppresses the nervous system. So when you're dreaming in one specific spot. Okay, now this is something that is called the weirdness of wilds, because when you consciously move yourself into the dream state, and you do it through this process of meditation, what happens is you begin to feel the sensations of what it's like to move into REM consciously, where the body is becoming paralyzed. Okay, so this can be a little bit frightening, and I would say, give it a practice, and some people aren't really cut out for this type of lucid dreaming, but with practice you can learn, and let me tell you, this is one of the best ways to get over fear, because as you're moving into the dream world and your body becomes paralyzed, you begin to have some fear, and at that moment, if you can control it by telling yourself that there's really nothing to be afraid of, then you move into the dream world, and when the transition is done, then that accomplishment, and it has been known to get rid of phobias and fears. So a lot of times what will happen is as you're moving into the dream, you'll be getting into the lower theta. And that lower theta, your visuals will start to happen, where you'll start to see things, start to hear things, you'll start to have really, really good imagination. Well, when that happens, then you just concentrate, and I'm going to go through the full technique, but right now, when that happens, then you might get a jolt in your body, and that's a REM jolt. It's a sign that you're going into REM. So have you ever been asleep, almost asleep, and then your body jolts? Well, that's like a sign that you're getting ready to move into REM. Well, if you hold it just a little bit longer, you will begin to go into the REM stage. And your body will become paralyzed. You will feel a sinking feeling in your stomach. You will feel like maybe you're spinning, you're falling. You can also feel like you're floating out of your body. You may even see yourself float out of your body. There's many different things that can happen, also associated with maybe some buzzing or sometimes some loud noises in the ears. And, you know, when this happens, try not to get afraid, okay? Because what will happen is if you get afraid, it'll pull you out. The weirdness of wilds is something that, for me, is very exciting. So I'm like a little child, you know, going to an amusement park and getting onto this roller coaster where you know that you're going to go down a really big hill, and you're getting ready for that. And when you do it, you're like, you know, yeah, this is so much fun. And it does, you know, have a little fear, but yet you're secure inside of the roller coaster. Well, kind of think of it like that. You know, you're perfectly secure as long as your intentions are pure and you're working with love and happiness. Okay, because there's nothing that can hurt you. There's nothing nothing can happen as long as you're one with happiness and love. So it's really important that you know that these states of consciousness will pass soon, and usually the transition, it seems like it takes maybe about 2 minutes, but in reality I think it's only a fraction of a second. Okay, so when you transition, you begin to feel the weirdness of wilds, and you feel this floating, this spinning, this vibration, this paralysis. Just try to relax and keep your mind focused. Now, remember that when this happens, you cannot judge anything. So you have to keep your mind in a place where you are free from fear and where you are free from judgment. You cannot question what's happening around you. The minute that you question anything, then it will wake you up, because you activate your cognitive mind. You activate the part of your mind that is responsible for criticism. Now, when you move through into the dream state through dream yoga or wake-induced lucid dreaming, then you have to practice being in a state of consciousness where you are free from fear, free from worry, and you have absolutely no judgment at all. And then you begin to pass through, and when you do, you will go into the dream, and in the dream you will be doing something there. And this can happen in many different ways. It can happen where you're coming out of your body and you're seeing all your visuals and the dream around you, and then you go through that, and on the other side it's a very crisp, clear picture, and you may be doing something there, and that's where you go, and you end up going like into your body there and actually doing something. Whatever it is that you're doing, you might be walking along the street, you might be flying, it just depends where you go to. Now, the other way that it can happen is you can like literally just step right out of your body and begin to walk around. You know, that's kind of common. And also sometimes you can just get to a point where you're almost there, where you're starting to feel those sensations, and then boom, the next thing you know, you're like walking down the street somewhere and you know that you're dreaming. So there's different ways. You can also, what's very known to happen is that you can re-enter into a dream that you have had in the past. So, you know, I just don't want you to be too much afraid of this stuff, and I just try it, and if it gets to be too much for you, the weirdness of wilds, that's okay, because you can just go back to mnemonic lucid dreaming and you should have no problem. Okay, if you have any problems with these things, just go ahead and put a blog, go ahead and put a comment in there, and I'll try to respond as fast as I can so that we can, you know, talk about this a little bit. So, all right, well, let's get into dream yoga here, and we will see you soon. yoga.